This is called painting in negative space. I have put out a few leaves and I have put out a few twigs of the leaves going behind the leaves. And now I'm going to paint around the leaves. I've mixed up my colors. I put in all vibrant colors, the primary colors, plus some more colors mixed with burnt sienna, magenta, and umbers, everything which will help me create a beautiful foliage behind the main leaves. And as I continue to paint, I drop in a few more leaves. But basically, painting in negative space is a way of painting behind your main project. Right now, my main project are leaves. So I've taken this patch of greenery in my garden and I've used the leaves in front as a main theme of my painting, and behind them, the foliage that I am painting before I touch the leaves is my concept of painting in negative space. So as I proceed, I approach the painting as a whole. I do not paint from left downwards or upwards towards down, or from downwards up towards the topmost part of the painting. I just approach it as a whole, and whichever side I feel needs some touch up, I go there and keep dropping in my paint. And basically this is wet on wet, so I keep dropping in water, and on top of the water I drop in the paints. I always work with one leaf at a time, drop in 2-3 shades. Once a leaf is wet, I drop in 2-3 shades. I'll drop in yellows, oranges, umbers to create the fall autumn look of the leaf, and then I'll wait for that leaf to dry and go to the other portion of the painting where I fill in the backdrop. And my backdrop is deep blues, cerulean blues mixed with a little black, mixed with sap greens to create the foliage behind the main leaves. The main leaves are always going to be very light in shade because they were painted with a very light wash right in the beginning, and then I did not touch them at all. Then I kept on working on the shades around the leaves. I dropped in a lot of sap green mixed with Prussian blue, and as soon as I did that, the leaf just bounced out of my paper, and you can actually see the leaves coming out because the colors dropped around the leaves are very deep in shade. And Hansa yellow has been used in a very liberal quantities over here to highlight the leaves once my painting is almost complete. So I've left Hansa yellow for the very last. I've used lemon yellow, crimson, scarlet, and burnt sienna and burnt umber for the colors of my leaves, and I've left the leaves semi-finished so that I could do the backdrop first. Painting in negative space is something you really need practice in. You could start with just little circles, then you could proceed with 2-3 leaves, and once you paint around those leaves, you can wait for it to dry. I do not use a heat tool, so my painting takes very long because I need to do it in very many layers. I do one layer, wait for it to dry, then I do the next layer. The thing is that if you start working with a lot of paint in one go and try to complete the painting in one go, it will just become a hot mess, and all the colors will blend into each other and it will give a very muddy look. So when you are painting in negative space, do remember that every layer you do, please give it a break of an hour and then come back to it. Now I'm touching up the leaves, the space around my red leaves, and I'm dropping in deep Prussian blue mixed with sap green. And as soon as I do that, again the leaves literally bounce out, and it is as if you can just pluck them out. So it gives beautiful depth to the painting. And leave it for the last. Now I have used the palette knife to pull out my painting. Hope you loved this. Thank you so much. Do subscribe. Do like.